Hi, this is TapCat, and today I'd like to talk about what we'll call the pause that refreshes. I'll explain what I mean. So, I've mentioned before that whenever I'm really into something, I have a tendency to focus on that really heavily and to the exclusion of, almost anything else. So, one example of that in recent months is certainly the channel in general and XCOM 2 more specifically. So since the game launched, I have been on a pretty constant basis working on content for it. So I'm either working on, the latest installment for the Let's Play, or working on one of the tutorials, or, something like that. So I admit, like, even for me, I've spent quite a bit of my evenings on that, to the point where I kind of knew that it wasn't really sustainable for a whole lot longer. But, again, like, what happens is I play a mission. I really want to just do the next mission. I want to know what's happening next. And so recently, last weekend actually, Memorial Day weekend, is an opportunity I had where another hobby of mine is board gaming. And there was a board game convention in LA. And for those of you who don't know, I don't live in Los Angeles, but I live in a suburb. So, roughly 45 minutes away. And so 3 times a year, there's an organization that puts on conventions in LA. And last year, I went to all 3. This one will probably be the only one I go to this year. But anyway, so I had dithered back and forth because for the holiday weekend, one thought I had was, I could record a lot of installments of XCOM 2. That was appealing to me. But I've actually really missed board gaming. It's been kind of a casualty of me being so active on the channel because it's not just time, it's mental bandwidth. When I'm into something like this, I just tend to not think about these other things and not focus on those things. So, that's just how I'm wired. It's just what I do. Well, anyway, this past weekend, I drove up to LA Friday morning, and it was great. I use it as an opportunity to not just play board games, but to take a break in general. And so at one point, I was in my hotel room, and I was reading, and I felt really tired. And so I just let myself fall asleep for an hour or two. And if I was home, I would never do that because I would worry about, I won't be able to go to sleep tonight, because I slept now. And then I won't be able to get up in the morning and blah, blah, blah. But no, I was tired. So I just zonked out for a while. And at the same time, they have these classes, they call them Gaming 101, where you can learn how to play a particular game. There were a couple of games that I bought that I have had sitting on the shelf because I haven't had the time to learn them. But they were both ones I wanted to learn and play. So it was great. They had 101 sessions on 2 of them. And I sat through one in particular I really liked a lot. So when I came back home Sunday morning, I taught my wife how to play, I don't know, within a day or 2. I don't remember exactly when. And but she really enjoyed it as well. So, now there's another game that the 2 of us enjoy playing. So it was definitely great. And I guess where I'm going with this is that even though I love recording these videos and, I'm way into it and everything, it's amazing how when I put myself in a position where I just couldn't, I was not at home and not with my computer and all of that, it was so nice not to do it. It was such a refreshing break. And even when I first came home, I didn't really have a strong desire to do it. It was more like Monday that I was chomping at the bit, to get back into it. But it was interesting how taking that break, just having that pause in the action, well, I guess in part it did make me realize how wore out I was. But it also helped recharge my batteries so that I did want to do it again. Now, admittedly, maybe I haven't learned everything I could have from that experience because I haven't really slowed down at all. I'm still spending, most of my evenings working on these videos, because it's not just recording. You have to edit them after the fact. I make unique thumbnails for each video. That takes real time because you have to, sift through all that footage to try to find one static image, that you think will grab people's eye. And you don't have to do that. In fact, I have in the past just used a single image for every single installment of a Let's Play. Most of my series on the channel are actually like that. I think my Dark Souls series was the first time I deviated from that pattern, but I really liked it. It takes time, but I really like it. And I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think it increases the chance that if it shows up in somebody's recommended window, that they're more likely to click on it. But anyway, this is a digression. Now let me get back on topic. So yeah, I haven't really mended my ways and slowed down at all, and I guess maybe I'm still finding my pace there. I don't know realistically if I'll ever change in that regard, though. I think the important thing, at least for me, is to just periodically remind myself. It doesn't have to be a board game convention by any stretch, but I have to take some time off here and there, and I have to, chill out. Usually what I try to do is finish a series, and I try to get ahead while I'm recording. It's very rare I'm ever more than a week ahead, but I try to get ahead. And then when the series finishes, ideally I would just take a week or so to not record anything. And, then pick up a new game and I'll start doing that. But I think the challenge I'm going to have with XCOM is especially this series on Legend difficulty. I'm afraid this campaign is going to be much longer than the other one. I didn't fully appreciate, I don't think, the extent to which they changed the pacing for Legend. Now, I haven't finished a campaign yet, but it feels to me like it's going to be, many more missions and many more installments than when you play on Commander. So we'll see. It may be a good while before I before I get to rest. So okay, well that's it. I don't have any big dramatic point or anything like that, but I thought it was an interesting experience I'd share with you guys. I would be curious to know, what do you do when you are overworked and want to relax? For me, board gaming is actually one of the good ones. Almost any travel as well. I love going to places like national parks. Now, the ironic thing is the other place I just love to travel to is Orlando for the theme parks. And you couldn't hardly think of two more polar opposite types of destinations. But anything like that where I'm kind of in nature and, I get to see wild animals or beautiful lakes or mountains or something like that. Oh, I love it so much. But I'd be curious to know, if you feel like sharing that in the comments, please do so. And with that, I will say that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I hope we see you next time.